Jen Shenk here, Central Mass real estate broker. I'm here today in Ashburnham. It's kind of nice. I'm in front of Creative Connections, which is a gift gallery and art gallery. Actually, they have openings. We've been to some of those. They have really nice gifts. Nice to support local. So I'm here in Ashburnham, which is a cute little downtown. I'm here to specifically promote an upcoming listing, but also just to kind of introduce you to Ashburnham if you don't have familiarity. So Ashburnham is located to the north of Westminster and Gardner. Population's about 6,400 people, and it shares a school district with Westminster. If you look at Ashburnham kind of from a literal 30,000 foot view, you'll see that it's dotted with lakes. I don't know why they say dotted, but it's dotted with lakes. So you've got Upper Knockeg, Lower Knockeg, Lake Winnipeg, Lake Wachusett, Billy Ward Pond. What am I missing? And some of them are really fun, and you can do all kinds of water activities on, and some of them you can't put any boats in. So be careful if you buy a waterfront property that it allows you to do what you want. And so where I am now, just walking along Main Street, which is also Route 12, I'm near Cushing Academy. So Cushing Academy. Oh wait, for those of you who are only here for the listing, let me tell you a little bit about the listing. It's an in-town listing. It is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a barn, town water and sewer, and I think it will be priced in the, let me not get hit, priced in the mid to high 400,000s, but more about that after. So where I am right now, it's too cold and I don't have enough time to walk over to Cushing Academy, but Cushing Academy is a private secondary school. Everybody probably in Central Mass has heard of it. You might not know that there's a lot of famous people who went there and or their children. So a few famous people, I got to look at this list here, I just write it down. Betty Davis, John Cena, Nate Berkus, who is a designer, and the current king of Bhutan. He's a 99 alumni of Cushing Academy. And then there's famous people who have sent their kids to Cushing Academy. Ray Bork, I know in the what was it, like the police versus the educators hockey games that were so wonderful and well attended, and a great charity event. Thanks to everyone who was involved in putting those on back in the day. Ray Bork actually would come and play, which is cool. So Ray Bork had a kid there, Carly Simon sent her kids there, James Taylor, even Dionne Warwick. And you've got to be of a certain age to know Dionne Warwick, but I'm of the age I know her from Solid Gold, which was like one of my favorite shows as a not quite teenager. So a little bit, as if you're considering a move to Central Mass and possibly Ashburnham, right now there's 12 houses on the market. There's some significant days on market and there's some brand new listings. So if you're, I just walked by another realtor office, but they're great. If you're in the market for Central Mass and you're curious about Ashburnham or any other town, just you can find me very easily. But let me tell you a little bit more about Ashburnham. So this downtown is, where did it go? There's a tattoo studio, there's a sushi restaurant, there's nail salons, there's just a sweet little downtown. And I feel like people are, or not feel like, I've heard that people are really of a mixed attitude about the colors on the building here, but I think they're really sweet. And then one thing Ashburnham has that some of my other small towns don't have is a hardware store. Come on, Westminster. Not to say Princeton would really like draw enough people to support a hardware store, but boy, I'd like one in Westminster. There's a few banks, a few pizza places, and what I like too is the historical nature of some of the buildings. The library is beautiful. They've got a new playground. Here we have Ashburnham Wine and Spirits, which you can get sandwiches, wine, ice cream. And if you don't want to work with me, you could go find Dave. He owns it. But what else do I want to tell you about? So this new listing, it's an in-town listing. It's a kind of a not little colonial home. It's 2,000 square feet. It's got a nice barn, and the kitchen has been redone. It was actually fully a gut rehab, and it's the kitchen has an adorable pantry. I'm a sucker for a pantry, so I really like that about it. what else do I want to say? So education. So students in the Ashburnham, in the town of Ashburnham, go to J.R. Briggs Elementary, and then they merge up with Westminster students at the middle school, and then they go to Oakmont for high school, or they can also go to Monty Tech. So I'm involved. I'm actually a founding board member. This is the town hall. I'm founding board member of the Ashburnham Westminster Foundation for Academic Excellence. I've got stories about that on my newsletter, more about that later. And a huge amount of protected land in Ashburnham. This is awkward because I know so many people. I see people waving at me and they're distracting me. But huge amount of protected land in Ashburnham. There's the Ashburnham Conservation Trust. There's the Mount Graceland Trust. My kids love hiking at Mount Wachusett, and there's a hawk migration you can see from Mount Wachusett. There's blueberries on Mount Wachusett. Just a lot of like hiking trails. This is the Frederick Collection. I'll have to find, I wrote a story about them a long time ago. It's a beautiful building, and Pat Frederick and her husband, Mike, would put on these beautiful, beautiful piano concerts at the Ashburnham Community Church. This goes back to 25 years ago or something, when we would go to church in Ashburnham. Actually, at the church now is in the lower level of the church is a business called Spice and Grain. If you want to stop and do work from there, or they have a lot of locally produced food items. This is, you can see it's just a really sweet downtown. And like I said, or maybe I didn't say, maybe I meant to say, there's parts of Ashburnham that people consider too remote. And so some people just like vote down the town because they say, oh, it's too far. There are parts of Ashburnham that I would consider too far if you needed to commute somewhere. My kids actually affectionately refer to those areas as Ashlaska, which is not okay to do. But, this particular listing is in the center of Ashburnham, and it's 7 miles to Route 2. That's perfectly normal. Expressive Printing, another small business in town. They've helped before with my education foundation printing. And what else did I want to say? Let's see, I have a few notes. Let's see what else I got. Anyway, so this listing is 3 finished levels. And I already said I had a barn. Beautiful kitchen. Coming on next week, which would be, what is that? Where are we? 3rd week of March, 2026. Midstate Trail and the Wapak Trail are based out of, Ashburnham is a starting point where you can hop on either one of those trails. And I guess I would just say that Ashburnham is a small New England town, but it's also accessible. It's cute. I don't know, that's subjective, but if you want to know more, I have an About Ashburnham page on my website. You could go to my website, jenshenk.com, so that's JENSHENK.com, and you'll see a newsletter button. And when you go on the newsletter, just search something that's interesting to you. If you want to read about gardening, search gardening. But if you search Ashburnham, you'll find I have an About Ashburnham page. I have a hiking trails and biking trails page story, so you might want to look at that. I actually have a story on Creative Connections, which is the art gallery and gift shop. And I have stories about the Ashburnham Westminster Foundation for Academic Excellence, which I've been involved with since 2009. And if we can help with anything, whether you want to sell in Ashburnham or buy in Ashburnham, or you don't know where you want to buy, you should know where you want to sell. But if you don't know where you want to buy, or you'd like to know more about Central Mass, I have lived here my entire life, and my kids, 4 of my 6 kids went through the Ashburnham Westminster schools. My next child went to Monty Tech, and my youngest child went to Wachusett. So that's to 7 towns. So if I can help with anything, reach out anytime. My cell phone is that's my husband's 978-870-9260, and all my other contact info is below. And if you'd like to know something about Ashburnham that I didn't talk about, hit me up and I will talk about it in the next one about Ashburnham. Have a great day.